Hello students, let us talk about the next concept in chapter Human Health and Diseases. So that is about immunity. The next concept in the chapter is about immunity. So we have completed the diseases which are caused by various pathogens like bacterial diseases, then fungal diseases, viral diseases, protozoan diseases, and the diseases which are caused by helminth or Aschelminthus members. Okay, so the next and important concept in the chapter, that is about immunity. Okay, so basically what is this immunity or immune? See, immunity is nothing but it is the natural power of the body. That is nothing but the resistance power of the body to various kinds of diseases. See, our body is made up of or consists of many kinds of cells which are specialized to perform the immune system or immune function. It means they are resistant against various pathogens, they give resistance, and they fight against various antigens like bacteria or fungi or viruses. So where totally it is nothing but the resistance power of the body to many kinds of antigens, to many kinds of pathogens. Our body is having the ability to recognize the entry of pathogens in various possible ways into the body. Either it may enter through the nose, it may through the respiratory tract, or it may enter through the genital tract or urinary system, or it may enter into the digestive system through the mouth or through the anus. The pathogens, they may enter into our body through various possible ways, but the resistance power or the immunity which is in our body, that is having the ability to recognize them and that will fight against them. So that is the basic function of the immune system. One is the recognition of the entry of pathogen, another one is it fight against the pathogens and thereby it kills the pathogens, and it eliminates the pathogens from the body. So for this reason, we are not getting diseases every day, though we have exposed to many kinds of microorganisms or pathogens in our surrounding environment, but we are not getting disease every day. So the reason is our body is having the own inbuilt power, the resistance mechanism, so where it can fight against the pathogens. Okay, so that resistance power of the body is what is called as immunity. All of us, we born with the immunity, but the percentage of immunity or the resistance power, that may vary from one person to another person. It depends upon the physiological conditions of the body, it depends upon the age, okay, it depends upon the food habit, what kind of food habit we follow and what kind of lifestyle we follow. All of them, they impacts on our immune system. So, and also the immunity that may decreases once we get age, or the immunity in the infants also, that is decreased, but we develop immunity when we start exposing to various kind of pathogens, various kind of antigens in the environment. So by that our body will be exposed to pathogens and our body will develop the immune system or the resistance power. So basically what is immunity? Immunity is nothing but the resistance power of the body. The body will develop resistance against various antigens and various pathogens. Okay, it may be bacteria, or it may be viruses, or it may be any kind of organism or any kind of chemical substance or a toxic substance that enters into our body that causing some effects. Okay, so whenever our immune system is weak, so then we will get the disease. Suppose in case of HIV persons, HIV infected persons, so where the immunity that will be decreases, in such cases, those persons will be very much prone to many kind of diseases. Okay, their body will be weak, their immune system will be weak. Okay, but always we have an inbuilt immunity, so where in that the body can fight against various antigens and various pathogens. Okay, so for that reason we are not developing symptoms or we are not getting diseases every day, though we are exposed to many kinds of pathogens. And another special thing about immunity, it stores a memory of previous infection. It means if we are infected with some of the pathogens, or if we are infected with some bacteria or virus or whatever it may be, so our immune system that will retain the memory of the previous infection. It means we are not getting the disease for the second time, or our immunity will fight fast. It will fight faster than the earlier one, than the previous one, or than the previous infection for the second time. If we counteract with the same pathogen for the second time, the immunity will fight faster because it retains the memory of the previous infection. Hence, so that is also one of the most important and fundamental property of immune system. It retains a memory, it fight against antigens. Okay, it interact with the antigens, those who have entered. Okay, so that is a major thing. So then the study of immunity is what is called as immunology. Immunology. The study of immunity is what is regarded as immunology. Immunology is a branch of science, it's a branch of biology where it deals with the immune system of the body. So overall immune system of the body, it means the different kinds of immune cells in our body, how they are function, where they are produced, what is their target, what is their mechanism of action, when they are produced, what type of cells we have in our body to perform the resistance mechanism. All those things we studied under the heading what is regarded as under the branch what is called as immunology. Okay, so there are pioneer works that can be seen in this immunological field or in the work of immunity. The pioneer, most fundamental work that was done by some of the eminent microbiologists and some of the eminent scientists who were present in those days. Okay, so they invented vaccines for various and dreadful diseases, isn't it? For example, like Edward Jenner, he is regarded as father of vaccination. Edward Jenner, his contribution is more because he invented the vaccine for smallpox. One thing he identified, that is nothing but okay, so he invented vaccine for smallpox disease, isn't it? So this is one of the disease where many persons, many people, they have affected by this disease, that is by smallpox. He invented the vaccine for smallpox. Okay, so one thing he observed that the milkmaids who have got or who have infected with the cowpox, they become resistant to smallpox. He observed one thing, that where the milkmaids infected with the cowpox, usually cowpox, it is a viral disease, and even the smallpox is also viral disease, usually infects in the cattle, and it may be infect the human beings also. So when the people which are infected with the cowpox, they develop resistance against the smallpox virus. So thereafter what he did, he scrapped out from the skin and the dermal region of the infected persons. It means wherever the pustules are produced, and the early pox formation ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಆ region scrap out ಮಾಡಿ, then he administered that into the other persons. So where he found the success in that, and this has become a vaccination. And for the first time, the concept of vaccination that was given by Edward Jenner. That's why he is regarded as father of vaccination. Thereafter, various vaccines were discovered. Like Louis Pasteur, the contribution of Louis Pasteur is also more to the field of immunology. So where he developed vaccine for, Louis Pasteur developed vaccines for rabies. Okay, similarly Robert Koch developed vaccine for anthrax. There are various diseases caused by bacteria and viruses, for that the vaccination has been developed. Okay, so that is the pioneer work will be done by Edward Jenner and Louis Pasteur, okay, on the field of immunology. Okay, so then the major thing is about what are the different components of our immune system. Namma immune system na bere bere adanತಹ components yadu. So the major components are the barriers in our immune system. So they just acts as a barriers. So they fight as like a soldiers in our body. The immune cells in our body, they are just like the soldiers. They are always ready to fight against the foreign invaders which invades into our body. So they are ready to fight. So they are just like the soldiers. Okay. So then let us discuss about the barriers of our immune system, or the components of our immune system. So before that, the types in immunity. How many types we have in immunity? One is two major types. One is innate immunity, and the second one is acquired immunity. Innate immunity and acquired immunity. So these are the two major types of immunity. One is innate, another one is acquired immunity. The first one is innate immunity. This is also known as inborn immunity. It means this is the immunity or the resistance power that we develops or that we get by birth itself. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೈ ಬರ್ತಿಂದಾನೆ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪವರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಏನಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೇಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. This is naturally found in all living organisms, especially the animals. And when it comes to human beings, it is naturally found, or we naturally get immunity by birth itself. That is what is called as innate immunity. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದ ಜೊತೆಗೇನೆ ಬೈ ಬರ್ತ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋಂಥ ಇಮ್ಯೂನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ನ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿನ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೇಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And what is this acquired immunity? And acquired immunity is nothing but the immunity or the resistance power that we develop when we expose to pathogens. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಯಾಥೋಜನ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿ ಏನು ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪವರ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಯಾಥೋಜನ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ. ದ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಆರ್ ದ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪವರ್ ದಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ in our body when we expose to a pathogen is what is called as acquired immunity. Okay, and the first one, the innate immunity or the inborn immunity, it can fight against various type of pathogens, the diversified kind of antigens it can fight against. It is not specific. Innate immunity is not specific. It means it doesn't target only the specific type of antigen that enters into our body. It is not specific. But the acquired immunity is very much specific. Once it counteracts that particular antigen only or that particular pathogen only, it can destroy or it can fight against them. That's why we are not readily developing immunity against coronavirus, isn't it? Because it is a recent virus that has entered into human system. So, but our body has developed immunity, no doubt in that. But it takes time. When it is newer one, when pathogen is newer one, it takes time, isn't it? So that is what is called as acquired immunity. It means the immunity or the resistance power developed when we exposed to pathogen during our lifetime is acquired immunity, and it is specific immunity. Acquired immunity is also called as specific immunity. Innate immunity is also called as non-specific immunity. Because it is not specific, it can fight against various kind of pathogens, but acquired immunity is specific, it can fight only against particular pathogens which are invaded our body. Okay. So these are the two main types of immunity. One is innate immunity or inborn immunity or non-specific immunity, and acquired immunity or specific immunity. Okay. So let us discuss about the barriers of innate immunity or the components of innate immunity. Okay. So the barriers or components of innate immunity, they are of following kinds. So let us discuss one by one. So the first one is physical barriers. The first one is physical barriers or anatomical barriers. Physical barriers are anatomical barriers. So these are the first, this is the first barriers that can be seen in innate immunity. It means it comes from the birth itself. One is physical, the first one is physical or anatomical barriers. It means the major things which are comes here, the barriers which comes here, like skin. We develop skin from the birth itself. The skin comes along with our body, isn't it? It is not developed somewhere when we are exposed to pathogen or any kind of antigen. It is not like that, We have skin by birth itself. It comes along with our life, isn't it? It is one part and parcel of our body, isn't it? So skin comes under the physical barrier or the anatomical barrier. So skin, it is mainly made up of keratinized cells. This is the outermost covering of the body and mainly made up of keratinized cells. It can act as a barrier for the entry of various pathogens into our body. You just imagine the body without a skin. How it will be? It means the internal muscles and the internal connective tissues and all other parts, they are visible. They are directly exposed to various kinds of antigens in our body, in the surrounding environment. They can directly attack us, isn't it? But we have a covering, a protective covering throughout our body. Whatever, don't bother about the color of the skin. The main thing of the skin, the function of the skin is to protect the internal parts or internal organs of the body, isn't it? So it is usually dead and it is keratinized. It can act as the major barrier or the outermost barrier of the body. And the skin that mainly consists of the sweat glands and sebaceous glands, where the sweat glands, they secrete the sweat, and sebaceous glands, they secrete the oil or the sebum, and they can kill the various pathogens or the microorganisms which found on the skin. Skin ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುವಂತ various microorganisms harmful microorganisms kill ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ by creating acidic pH. The sebum is secreted by sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands are nothing but the oil glands which are found on the skin. Sebaceous glands. It is found on the skin, where it creates acidic pH like 3 to 4. Okay. It kills various pathogens that can try to enter into our body. Similarly, the sweat that also eradicates or kills the pathogens which try to enter into our body. Okay, so that where skin can act as the first barrier in our body. Okay, and also the skin will possess the external microflora. External microflora means the beneficial microorganisms which are found on the surface of our body. External micro means microorganisms. The many species of microorganisms, like majorly the bacterial species, which are found or which are harbored in our skin, they mainly protect our body. They protect the skin and protect our body by secreting some useful substances. Andre useful microorganisms, the external microflora. They prevent the entry and they prevent the growth of other microorganisms on the skin, other harmful microorganisms which try to enter into our body. Okay, so this is also comes under the first line of defense. The first line of defense is The skin. This is the outer, as it is the outermost boundary, this is the first line of defense. Remember that. Okay. Then the next thing is about the hairs found in the nasal canal. Nasal hairs. Nasal hairs. The hairs found in the nasal canal are the nasal hairs. Okay. So this is also act as a barrier. This is also an anatomical barrier or a physical barrier. You know the function of nasal hairs, the major function. So where it filters the air what we inhale, the dust particles and the other impurities which are found in the air, and many of the microorganisms which are found in the air, they were filtered by the hairs which are found in the beginning of the nasal canal. Thereby, the filtered air will enter into our internal nostrils, thereby it will enter into pharynx, finally finds its way towards the larynx and trachea. It means the nasal hairs which are found, in the nasal canal, they can act as a filters. They will prevent the entry of the dust particles and other impurities and other microorganisms which try to enter into our respiratory system. Okay. Hence, this is also can act as a barrier, the anatomical barrier or a physical barrier. Then the next thing is the mucus layer. The mucus layer. So the mucus layer is another important barrier. It is just like a second line of defense, the mucus layer. So wherever we find the mucus layer, we found the mucus layer in respiratory system. The mucus layer is found in the respiratory system, okay, and also it is found in urinogenital system, and also we found the mucus layer in digestive system. So in various possibilities of pathways in the body, so where the mucus, it is lined with the mucus layer, especially our respiratory system is lined with the mucus layer, the urinogenital system is lined with the mucus layer, and digestive system is lined with the mucus layer. Both the oral parts, starts from the oral part, and even in the anus region also where we find the mucus layer. And in the respiratory regions also we find the mucus layer, the nasal canals and the other respiratory part, the internal nostrils, the pharynx. So all of them, they have the mucus layer. You know the function of mucus layer, that secretes a thick mucus. That secretes a mucus whereby it traps the microorganisms which try to enter into our system. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾಧ್ಯನೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂಥ ಪ್ಯಾಥೋಜನ್ಸ್ನ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ದೆನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಲೈನ್ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಡಿಸೀಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ, ದ ಪ್ಯಾಥೋಜನ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗರ್ ಅಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಡಿಸೀಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಜುವಲಿ ದ ಬಾಡಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ನೋ ಡೌಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್. Okay. But however, we have some barriers that can avoid the entry of various pathogens into our body. So one thing, the mucus layer found in the respiratory system avoids the entry of pathogens into our respiratory system, majorly into the lungs. Then the urinogenital system avoids the entry of the pathogens into the kidneys and into the genital organs, mainly the testicles or the ovary or into the gonads. It will mainly prevent. So especially the mucus layer found in the vagina, it prevents the growth of many number of microorganisms which try to enter through the vagina. And also the vaginal mucus layer or the vaginal wall, that is mainly having many kinds of microflora, beneficial microflora that can kill the other microorganisms which try to enter into the urinogenital system. So especially the lactobacillus species which are found in the vagina, they secrete lactic acid. So this can inhibit the growth of other microorganisms. The lactobacillus found in the vagina, that will secrete lactic acid and that will inhibit the growth of other microorganisms. Okay, hence we have many beneficial microflora. Okay, so then the mucus layer that secretes the mucus and that prevents or traps the entry of entered microorganisms into our body and hinders its movement into other organs. ಬೇರೆ organs ಗೆ microorganism move ಆಗೋದನ್ನ hindrance ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so that is the function of mucus layer. So this comes under, again it comes under the physical barriers. Okay, so main thing is the skin can act as a physical barrier. Then the nasal hair, that can act as a physical barrier, and also the mucus layer that can act as a physical barriers. So similarly, then the internal microflora. Avagale external microflora ಹೇಳಿದೆ. So now about internal microflora, it means many beneficial organisms which are found, especially the microorganisms which are found inside our body. So as I said earlier, the lactobacillus species which is found in the vagina, where it secretes the lactic acid and it prevents the growth of other microorganisms which try to enter into our body by secreting lactic acid. It hinders the growth of other microorganisms. And we have large quantity of microflora in our body, especially in our intestine. And in the digestive system of our body, so where that will prevent the growth of harmful microorganisms that entered into our body. So there are many number of beneficial species of microorganisms we have. So that is found majorly in the intestine and even in our digestive system. So they also prevent the entry of other microorganisms. So they secrete some of the chemical substances, some of their products, so that kills or inhibits the growth of other foreign microorganisms. Okay. So that is about the internal microflora. So then the next thing is about, which comes under the innate immunity, is about physiological barriers. So we have discussed about the physical barriers. Then the next thing is about the physiological barriers. Physiological barriers. Physiological barriers are nothing but the secretions of our body. There are some secretions in our body, where that can kill the microorganisms which try to enter into our body, and those secretions are together what is called as physiological barriers. So in physiological barrier, the main thing is the secretions in the body, the secretions in our body. So what are the different secretions we can see in our body? Like sweat, our body will secrete the sweat, isn't it? Then our body will secrete the sebum. Sebum is nothing but the oil. Okay, sebum, sweat and sebum. Then our body will secrete the mucus, isn't it? The body will secrete the mucus. Then our body will secrete the gastric juice that mainly consists of HCl. Then tear, it is secreted by lacrimal glands. Okay, tear. Then saliva. Saliva is secreted by the salivary glands, isn't it? So there are many kinds of secretions in our body. They can act as a physiological barrier. And also the wax secreted in the ear. The wax secreted in the ear by means of ceruminous glands. By means of ceruminous glands which are found in the external auditory canal. The ceruminous glands which are found in external auditory canal, where it secretes wax. So there are lots of secretions that can be seen in our body where they will prevent the entry of, suppose if they entered, they kills the microorganism by their secretions. For example, like sweat, that is secreted by the sweat glands of the skin. That inhibits the growth of microorganisms. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ skin ಅಲ್ಲಿ microorganism growth ಅನ್ನು inhibit ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So that is one thing. And even the sebum, as I said earlier. So sebum, it is nothing but the oil secreted by the sebaceous glands. It makes the pH unsuitable for the growth of other harmful microorganisms by secreting the sebum, the sebaceous glands. So where the pH will be 3 to 4, it inhibits or decreases the growth of microorganisms in the body. So then the mucus mainly secreted by the mucus glands, which are found in the mucus layer of the either in the urinogenital tract or in the respiratory system or in the digestive system, where we can see the mucus layer. So the mucus layer that secretes the mucus. So and even the mucus also inhibits the growth and the entry of microorganism in our body. Then HCl, that is commonly seen in gastric juice, isn't it? So where that kills most of the microorganisms which entered into our digestive system through the food. Then ನಾವೇನು ಫುಡ್ ನ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಫುಡ್ ಇಂದ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ನ HCl ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಕಿಲ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. The acid that is secreted in the stomach, which is highly acidic, and many microorganisms which cannot survive in such acidic conditions. Hence the food what we eat, that will be consists of many number of microorganisms. Knowingly or unknowingly we eat them. So but the HCl that is secreted inside the body, especially inside the stomach, that kills various microorganisms which are found in the food. Then the tear secreted by the lacrimal gland, okay, that will protect the eyes, especially many dust particles and other things will enter into eyes that consists of various microorganisms. So by secreting the tear, the lacrimal glands, by secreting the tear, so where it will eliminates and it will kills the microorganism, because mainly they consist of the tear and the saliva, they mainly consist of lysozyme. They mainly consist of lysozymes. Lysozymes are nothing but they are the enzymes which are found in the tear and as well as in the saliva and even in the sweat also. Okay, lysozymes, they are nothing but the enzymes which mainly lyses the bacterial cell. They will break down the cell wall of bacteria and thereby they kill them. The lysozymes, they break down the cell wall of bacteria and thereby they kill the microorganisms which entered into our body. So, which are mainly found in the saliva as well as in the tear, and also they are found in the sweat. So, they are nothing but the enzymes, lysozymes. Okay. Similarly, the saliva, you know that it is secreted by the salivary glands. So, where the saliva is also having lysozymes, it will kill the microorganisms, especially the bacteria which are found in the food what we eat. Then the wax, it is secreted by the ceruminous glands of the external auditory canal. It will also having the effect, inhibitory effect on the microorganism, and another thing also, it will prevent the entry of some smaller insects into our ears, isn't it? So, as it is sticky in nature, the insects will stick to this wax. Hence, they can't move further into our internal auditory canals and into our internal ears. It will prevent. And also, it will inhibits the growth of microorganisms which try to enter into the ears. Okay, so that is wax secreted by ceruminous glands. Okay, so these comes under physiological barriers, the second line of defense. The first line of defense is physical barriers or anatomical barriers, and the second line of defense is physical barriers. Physical barriers that mainly includes the different secretions of our body like sweat or sebum or mucus or saliva or tear or HCl or the gastric juice that is secreted in the stomach. All those things which comes under the physiological barriers. Okay. Then let us talk about the next aspects, the next kind of barrier. So this is very important. The different barriers of our immunity, it will be asked for 3 marks or 5 marks. Okay, 2 or 3 times in the examination this question has asked. So the next kind of barrier is cellular barriers. So this is the third line of defense, cellular barriers. Cellular barriers. See, there are various cells in our body, especially the white blood cells, the WBCs. There are various cells like monocytes, macrophages, natural killer cells, neutrophils, then lymphocytes. There are different cells in our body. They work on immunity. They work on providing the resistance power. They work on killing the pathogen that has invaded our body. Andre first line of defense nu pass ಮಾಡಿ, second line of defense na pass ಮಾಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ next third line of defense ಬರುವಂತದ್ದು the cellular barrier. Andre already the pathogen that has entered into our body by passing the first and second line of the defenses. Then there comes the third level, that is the cellular barriers. Various cells in our body, they fight against the pathogens. Majorly the lymphocytes. Majorly those cells are what is called as the lymphocytes, isn't it? So then the macrophages. Macrophages are the larger cells. Okay, macrophages, the natural killer cells. Natural killer cells. So many of the cells like monocytes. So many cells which are involved in immunity, it means which are involved in killing the pathogens or the microorganisms which are entered into our body. So they were collectively called as cellular barriers. They are the third line of defense. For example, like in lymphocytes, we can say the 2 kinds of lymphocytes like B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. Okay, there are 2 kinds of lymphocytes can be seen, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. So B lymphocytes are responsible for antibody mediated immunity. Antibody mediated immunity antandre, suppose a pathogen that has entered into our body, say as a bacteria like Salmonella typhi that is entered or encountered into our body. Some cells in our body, they recognizes the entry of pathogens, say as plasma cells. So they also comes under the cellular barriers, plasma cells. The plasma cells, they recognizes the Salmonella typhi, then they produce some proteins. Okay, and those proteins are nothing but the antibodies. They interact with the bacterial cells which have entered into our body. That is by producing the antibodies. That is the B lymphocytes. B lymphocytes counteract with the pathogen not directly, but by producing the antibodies, they interact with the pathogens. That is the B lymphocytes. Similarly, the T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes are participate in direct immunity, that is cell-mediated immunity. They participate in cell-mediated immunity. It means they are directly involved in attacking the pathogens. Pathogens na direct agi attack ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಸೆಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೆಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದು the T lymphocytes. So I will discuss about these 2 later. in a detailed way about the B lymphocytes, where they are produced, how they are matured, what are the different types. Similarly, in T lymphocytes, where they are produced, what are the different kinds of T lymphocytes and what is their function. I will discuss about them in detail later. Okay, about the B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. So now you just know the lymphocytes are majorly the B lymphocytes and the T lymphocytes. Similarly, the macrophages, they are nothing but the larger cells. They majorly participate in a mechanism what is called as phagocytosis. A mechanism what is called as phagocytosis. So see, this is a mechanism, the phagocytosis, that is nothing but the larger cells which engulf the pathogens which has entered into our body. Andre engulfing antandre nungodu anta. The macrophages, they counteract, suppose if this is a macrophage, it counteract with the pathogens which is entered or invaded into our body. Suppose if these are the bacterial cells, even the bacterial cells anta navu ankonಡ್ರೆ, this is a macrophage, macro. Okay, so this will engulf. Later ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, the macrophage will engulf the bacterial cells or the pathogens which entered into our body, and they are having phagocytic vacuoles. ಇದರೊಳಗಡೆ phagocytic vacuoles ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Phago ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ engulfing ಅಂತ. Engulfing of solid substances by its cells. Solid substances ನ cell engulf ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ phagocytosis ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Majorly macrophages, they are wandering inside the body. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ different connective tissues ಅಲ್ಲಿ, lymph ಅಲ್ಲಿ, they are wandering inside our body. They find the site of infection. Suppose if there is a wound, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಡಿ ನಲ್ಲಿ wound ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. The wound ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಬಾಡಿ ಕಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, the internal part of the body will be exposed to the external environment, isn't it? In such cases, various microorganisms will try to enter into our body. Okay, in where the macrophages will start moving to the site of infection. ಎಲ್ಲಿ infection ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಸೈಟ್ ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. They were carried inside the lymph. So where they counteract with the pathogen and start killing them by the mechanism what is called as phagocytosis. Phagocytosis ಅನ್ನೋ mechanism ಇಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, bacterial cells ಅನ್ನ kill ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So that's why we may get pus when we have wound. ಅಂದ್ರೆ pus is nothing but the secretions of the injured cells. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು cells injure ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, injured cells ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋಂಥ secretion ಅಲ್ಲಿ, that consists of the debris of the cells and that consists of the killed cells of pathogens and majorly the macrophages and other lymphocytes that can be seen in that secretion. A thick viscous fluid, that is secreted at the site of wound. So that is mainly because of an immune response. Okay, so these macrophages, they participate in phagocytosis. Phagocytosis ಅಲ್ಲಿ participate ಮಾಡುವಂತ cells. Similarly, the natural killer cells. Natural killer cells, they are also comes under the cellular barriers or cytological barriers. Cellular or cytological barrier. They secrete some specific substances. Okay, so by secreting some specific substances, they attack, by producing some chemicals, they attack the pathogens or the viruses, especially the viruses which have entered into our body. Okay, so that is about the natural killer cells. I will discuss about them later. Then monocytes are nothing but, so macrophages are the modified monocytes. Macrophages are the modified monocytes. So they are also participate in giving the cellular response for the entry of pathogens. Okay, so these are the different kinds of cells which are involved in immunity, in giving immunity, and it comes under the third line of defense, that is in cellular barriers. Okay, then the next thing is about the fourth one, cytokine barrier. We have discussed three: physical or anatomical barrier, the second one is physiological barrier, the third one is cellular barriers, and the fourth one is cytokine barriers. The fourth one is cytokine barriers. Cytokine barriers. Okay, so these cytokine barriers are nothing but there are certain proteins or chemicals which are secreted by the cells, especially the cells like natural killer cells and other cells like which are infected by the viruses. Suppose if the cells are infected by the virus, they secrete some of the compounds, they secrete some chemicals, and it gives signals for the other cells to become resistant. So majorly like the compounds, the chemical compounds like interferons, majorly the chemical compounds like interferons. So interferons are nothing but they are the proteins, they are the chemicals which are secreted by the infected cells, usually the infected cells. Okay, so like suppose if a virus is counteract with if a cell is counteract with a virus, Suppose if this is a cell, if it is counteract with a virus, some virus that has entered into our cell, virus, this cell will produce some chemical substances, complex chemical molecules, majorly the proteins. Okay, they are nothing but the majorly the protein components. So where these cells, the infected cell will secrete these interferons, and it will sense a signal. It can act as a signal molecule for the neighboring cells to protect themselves, to develop resistance against this particular virus. ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೈರಸ್ ಎಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿರೋಂಥ ಬೇರೆ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ದ ಇಂಟರ್ಫೆರಾನ್ಸ್. Thereby they protect the other normal cells or the healthy cells. Similarly, they also protect the cells from the cancer. Interferons are also can be seen in the cells which are affected with the cancer. Some of the cells, if they become cancerous, they secrete it and they protect the other healthy cells by the attack of cancer. Okay, so that where also the interferons are involved. So majorly the secretion, cytokine barriers are nothing but the secretions are the chemical substances which are produced by the cells. If they are infected with a virus or some of the cells, if they become cancerous, at that time these molecules are produced. Okay, interferons. Similarly, the other molecules like which are produced in such other cases of infections like histamines. So they are also produced by, for example, the cells like macrophages. And the other response in case of this one, inflammation is nothing but the swelling of body parts. Body parts swell agodu. That is majorly by the secretions of certain chemical substances like histamines, where some body parts get swelled up. ಅದನ್ನ ಲೋಕಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲಮೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ wound ಆಯ್ತು ಅಥವಾ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ, ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಆನಿಮಲ್ ಬೈಟ್, ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾವುದೋ ಕಚ್ಚುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಲೈಕ್ ಹನಿ ಬೀಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ವೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ redness can be seen in that particular region, and that region will become very much hot, isn't it? So that is what is called as inflammation. The swelling characterized by redness and pain irutte, redness irutte, swelling irutte, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಸಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನಾವು ಇನ್ಫ್ಲಮೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ಫ್ಲಮೇಷನ್ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಸೀನ್ localized means it is affected in particular part of the body, or it may be throughout the body. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಾಡಿ ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ವೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು, because in some conditions the entire body it may swells up, or only one particular organ in the body or only one particular region in the body that is swells up. ಅದು ಇನ್ಫ್ಲಮೇಷನ್ ಆದಾಗ localized inflammation ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲಮೇಷನ್ ಆದರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮಿಕ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲಮೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸಿಸ್ಟಮಿಕ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ the entire body will be inflamed or it's showing inflammation, that is systemic inflammation. Suppose if only one part of the body is inflamed, or it is swelling, that is what is called as localized inflammation. ಅದನ್ನ localized inflammation ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. It is found in only one particular part of the body. Okay, so they majorly comes under the cytokine barriers like histamines. Then inflammation is also comes under this, the swelling up of the body. Then interferons are nothing but the protein molecules or the chemical substances secreted by the infected cells. It will protect the other cells. Okay, so they are also involved in the treatment of the cancer. They are also used in the treatment of the cancer like cystic fibrosis and multiple sclerosis and other related diseases. Okay, and hepatitis. And in all those things, like in treatment of cancer, hepatitis and multiple sclerosis, and in viral infections where we can use interferons. Okay, so this is about the cytokine barriers. And the last one is about the component system. The last one is about the component system. See, component system is nothing but it's a group of around 30 different proteins which are involved in our immune system. A group of 30 different proteins involved in the immune system or in the resistance power of the body, they were what is called as component system. Adana component system anta kariತೀವಿ. This component system can be seen both in innate immunity as well as in acquired immunity. ಎರಡಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಇನ್ನೇಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ನಲ್ಲೂ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ನಲ್ಲೂ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, in innate immunity the component system is what is called as alternate pathway. ಇನ್ನೇಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಂತೀವಿ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟ್ ಪಾತ್ವೇ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ acquired immunity, it is what is called as classical pathway. Case of innate immunity, the component system is known as alternate pathway. In case of acquired immunity, it is known as classical pathway. What is this component system? It is nothing but the system of proteins which is found in the body, majorly responsible for giving resistance power or immunity. Majorly, there are around 30 proteins which are involved in the component system. They are working along with the other cells in the body. Suppose other immune cells in the body like macrophages or monocytes or neutrophils or natural killer cells, along with them, they are working in a coordination along with the other cells which are found in the body, and they are majorly nothing but the component system. Okay, so as I said, there are 30 proteins involved in this, the component system. Okay, similarly among that, the majorly some proteins like perforins, they majorly create pores in the surfaces of the cells. They create pores in the surfaces of the cells, thereby it causes the cells to entry of water, thereby the cells will get swells up and the cell bursting will take place. Suppose if any pathogen that has entered into our body, the perforins, what they do, they cause the pores in their surfaces, their cell surfaces, thereby the entry of water will take place into them. It means the entry of fluid will take place into the cells, then the cells will swell up and burst. Okay, so that is a major function done by the perforins, causing pores on the surfaces of the cells, or even the infected cell also. Okay, so what is a component system? The component system is nothing but the system of about 30 proteins involved in immunity. So along with the other cells found in the body in a coordination way, there are two kinds can be seen. If in case of innate immunity, the component system na alternate pathway antivi. In case of acquired immunity, it is what is called as a classical pathway. And classical pathway ಅಥವಾ acquired immunity ನಲ್ಲಿ they are produced, the proteins are produced due to a specific responses of a particular antigen. ಯಾವುದೋ particular antigen ಎಂಟರ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. But innate immunity ನಲ್ಲಿ already they are found, and that is called as the alternate pathway. Okay, so this is about the component system. They are working along with the coordination with the other cells in our immune system. They are nothing but the proteins secreted by our bodies, cells. Okay, so this is about the different kinds of barriers which are involved in innate immunity. So examination ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ 3 or 5 marks ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Mention the different types of barriers, or mention any 3 barriers, or mention physical barriers of immunity, innate immunity with example, or mention physiological barriers with example, or mention the cytological barriers with example ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, so it will be asked for 5 marks, or write a note on barriers of innate immunity ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು 5 marks ಗೆ. Okay, it will be for 5 marks or it will be for 3 marks. So that is one of the important concepts. In next video, I come up with the next topics of immunity, that is about the different cells like T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes, then structure of antibody, and lot more about this topic. Okay, I will come up with the next video. Thank you.